Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Rejoice Amajoyi, and I'm with Evolve Africa. We are excited to learn about your journey and share your experiences with our community of aspiring entrepreneurs. So, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. Let's start by getting to know you a little better. So, what's your name, sir?
Well, thank you. My name is Sir Engineer Asomba Meshach. It's my name.
Okay.
My Knight of St. Crystal, if you have to know that. Yeah.
So, sir, tell us about your business. What do you do?
So my business name is Kiwat Interglobal Services. I'm the MD and CEO of the business. We are into production of sachet water,
Okay.
production and distribution to our valued customers.
To understand the inspiration and initial motivation behind starting this particular business, so would you mind sharing your idea of this business? Like, how did this idea come about? So, what was the motivation that led you to start this business?
Yeah, so what actually drove me to start this business was, the identification of the need for water
All right.
in the locality where I started the business.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So it's in the Olu area. So Olu area is such that the water table is very low, so very far from the ground surface, so difficult to get water. So that actually affected, if you like, the supply of water, potable water to the people around it. So water was a bit scarce. As a matter of fact, good water was a bit scarce. Yeah, so that need actually drove me to looking for how to kind of bridge that market failure, right?
Yes.
To make sure that water gets to the people wherever they need it, right?
Okay. All right. So you're saying that there was a problem in getting good water for drinking, and because of that problem, you saw a need to provide the people with a very wonderful water production to salvage that need. So it's a good one. Thank you. So the next thing we want to know is, there's this saying that when a business is starting for the first year, let's say first 3 years, there might be, or there is always challenges at the initial time. I mean, when you're starting your business. So might share with us the challenges you experienced at that early stage and how you handled them, what strategies or resources helped you the most during the time. So can you share a specific incident or obstacle you overcame?
All right, so every big business has two stages. So you have the project stage and the operations stage. So during the project phase, it was basically about raising the required initial working capital to set up the business. To put the infrastructure in place. Okay? Now, but during the operate phase of the business, when we have produced the water and needed it to get to the market, right? So we faced very serious logistic challenges. At that time, I did not have any truck.
Okay.
So my initial model was produce this water and maybe woo customers to come and buy from the company. But that never worked, right? So customers preferred their products to be brought to their doorstep, right?
Yeah.
Even when I, offered to give them the water at my factory at a premium, at a reduced cost.
First, yeah.
That didn't work. So I had that challenge. Sales volume was almost very low. And before we now started thinking of, okay, what can we do? So I decided to own a shop, in a mall, very close to a market. I started moving products from my factory to the shop. So I started making some sales, but that wasn't enough. because I wasn't selling as much as I was producing.
Okay.
So logistic challenge was very, very prominent at the early stage of my business. But of course, I've solved those challenges, right?
That's the focus point for us. How did you solve challenges?
All right, so as soon as I discovered that the customers preferred these products to be brought to them, so I decided to think, how do I get a truck? So I managed to raise money to get a truck. But again, to get a driver for the truck was a big challenge too. Because in that particular area, people are not used to the business of trucking water. So we don't have drivers for the truck. So it was a novel idea to them. So nobody agreed to come. So people were interested in riding keke and taxis and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, so until I managed to get a driver who was going for a very far distance, when I saw how that was working, I decided to buy another truck, right?
Yeah.
But to get a driver for the second truck became a problem because all the people I had in my factory then were interested in working in the production room as baggers and all that. But an idea came to my mind. I talked to my production manager who happened to know how to drive. I said, look, guy, can't we train some of these young guys in the production room on driving? And that was fantastic.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
That singular idea turned things around.
Amazing.
We were able to train 5 guys.
5.
And driving, yes. And they learned how to drive.
That's amazing.
So instead of looking for drivers, we now had SS drivers, right? So we now did pairing. So 2 drivers to 1 truck and 2 drivers to 1 truck. And so on and so forth. Until we decided we got other trucks and now have the drivers man each truck. So that's how we solved that problem. So the key point here is in investing in people, right? Identifying what people can do. Do not underestimate anybody, right?
Yes.
Because we saw the potential in those young men that that can drive. So we said, okay, why can't we train them? And we train them, we got our problem solved.
Wow, this is so amazing. Like it's a great idea you had then. So that's a good one you did. Thank you. So the next question we have is about your success story. I just want to know what milestones have you achieved so far in this particular business and maybe your goals for and plans for growth. Or how do you intend to grow or where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
Right, so let me start from the other bit of my success story. And this is very important, right? The fundamental to my success story is people. So people are my greatest asset, my workers.
Well, people are my greatest assets.
Yes, they are my greatest assets. Beyond, you can buy all the machines in the world, get the best trucks in the world. If you have a wrong set of folks managing that business or working for you, the business will go down. So I identified that right from time. And I tried to treat my workers as human. I tried to empower them. I tried to train them. I tried to touch on their welfare, right? Let me tell you some things I do for my workers. I give them free Wi-Fi services, my workers. I celebrate my workers on their birthdays.
Oh, wow.
I organize end of year get together for my workers to appreciate them for what they've done so far. I also work on their health. Yeah. There's of course first aid boss in the company.
Okay.
I even go to the point of taking care of some of their medical bills. The records are there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Importantly, I pay them well and I pay them on time.
Okay.
I pay my workers on or before the end of the month. I don't owe my workers. I do not. So
that's great.
So I have a motivated workforce. So that is my success story. Importantly, we do what we call the monthly performance review.
Okay, monthly performance review.
Where the workers come together,
Yeah.
and review what they have done
In the past month. Yeah.
and hammer out what they can do better, how they can do better, and who does what.
Okay.
So they will assign responsibilities, action parties, and with a target closeout date.
Wow.
So that also helps to improve the performance of the company.
Okay.
Solutions that comes from the workers themselves. They're not. It's not a top-down approach. It's a bottom-up.
Yeah.
So they generate those solutions and they go for it and solve it. So that is also
important.
Part of the fantastic success story of Kiwat today.
Awesome. Your success story so far has been a great one. Thank you. So the next thing we'll be talking about is your advice to entrepreneurs. I want you to dish out or share with us the advice, the things you feel or you think with experience that will work for any entrepreneur starting a business anywhere.
So very clear. My advice to upcoming entrepreneurs is basically for them to look at the need. They should try and identify a need and solve it.
All right.
So it's not enough trying to superimpose a business from one part of the country to the other part. What works in state A, if you like, or region A might not work in other sides. So you need to actually do some research. That's where research comes into business.
Okay.
Identifying a need comes from research. Once you identify the need, money will follow. The second point, like I mentioned before, is for every entrepreneur to invest in people. Trust your workers, invest in them, care for them. That's the word.
Yeah.
Care for them, show care. Make people get or feel motivated. A motivated workforce is your greatest asset, right?
Yes.
Because when people are motivated, they would want to kill themselves, if I should use the word for you. So that's one of the key things every aspiring entrepreneur should know. It's good for us to kind of emphasize on these few things because money is difficult to come by. So it doesn't make sense you pull resources and move into a business that will not work or will not survive 1 or 2 or 3 months down the line.
Yeah.
So you need to think very carefully, and once that need is identified, you need to now work on the softer part of it, which is people. How do you make sure that you have a good set of people that will help you to run? You cannot run a business alone. You cannot do it alone. So you need people. So that's my clear advice to aspiring entrepreneurs. Thank you.
All right. That's so super amazing. Thank you so much, sir. And I believe that what you just shared with us today would get to the ears of thousands of entrepreneurs out there. And with what you just advised them on, they will be able to thrive and succeed in their businesses. It's been a lovely time with you. It's been a lovely session with you, Sir Engr Meshach Asomba. Thank you so much for coming on board, and we'd love to have you next time. We'd love to have you next time on this section, maybe talking about how far you've gone, how more people how many people more you've blessed and you've reached out to. So thank you so much for being here today. May God bless you. All right.
Thank you.